Welcome back to Talking with Teri TV. And on today's episode of Spilling the Tea, we take a look at the sentencing of Ruby Franke, who you learned about here with us. Let's take a listen.
A social media influencer who preached tough love parenting with harsh punishment was handed some harsh punishment of her own today. Former momfluencer Ruby Franke was sentenced to 4 to 60 years in a Utah prison.
All right, what do you think about this sentencing? I'd love to hear from you because does this sentencing make any sense to anyone? 4 to 60, like, okay, I can see 4 to 7 or maybe 50 to 60, but 4 to 60 doesn't even make sense, which translates really to 2 years, right? For good behavior, right? I don't know. I'd love to hear what you think. So drop your comments below.
Her business partner, Jody Hildebrand, will serve the same sentence.
She committed horrible acts of child abuse. Ms. Franke held her children, ages 9 and 11, in a concentration camp-like setting. The children were regularly denied food, water, beds to sleep in, and virtually all forms of entertainment.
Now, this is absolutely a horrible tragedy that could have been prevented. You know, check out my first episode on this topic to see the warning signs and also how to keep ourselves in check as we rise up with our own ability to influence others, because I think this is all could have been prevented. And she missed every single warning sign that there was and didn't take the precautions as a business owner to really support herself and support her growth as a business owner.
22-year-old Franke, a mother of 6, broke down as she spoke about her children in court.
I would do anything in this world for you. I took from you all that was soft and safe and good. I took from you your mother. How terrifying this must have been for you.
She rose to fame with her YouTube channel, 8 Passengers, with 2 million followers. She and Hildebrand were notorious for their tough discipline.
We took the phone away from Abby in November. And you may never get the phone back.
But while she posed as a loving but strict mom, she was actually subjecting her kids to horrific abuse, even tying them up for long periods. She was exposed when her 12-year-old son ran to a neighbor for help.
So the really sad part about all of this, it was initially getting reinforced for her through her growing fame. On social media, she had over, I think it was 2 million subscribers. And now, thankfully, and as you can imagine, like that fame, as she's posting these things that seem kind of, okay, she took the phone away, but it started reinforcing more and more kind of bizarre behavior. And it wasn't until her followers, so thankfully, the same attention that helped grow her is also the same reason for her demise. And thankfully, people started saying, wait, I'm starting to see the red flags here, and intervened to make sure that these kids are safe. Now, I want to tune in to another video here real quick around her sentencing, because I'd love to get your opinion on this. Let's take a listen in as she makes a statement in front of the judge.
I would like to make a statement without any intent to change my stipulated sentence. For the past 4 years, I've chosen to follow counsel and guidance that has led me into a dark delusion. My distorted version of reality went largely unchecked, as I would isolate from anyone who challenged me. I was led to believe that this world is an evil place, filled with cops who control, hospitals that injure, government agencies that brainwash, church leaders who lie and lust, husbands who refuse to protect, and children who need abused. My choice to believe and behave this paranoia culminated into criminal activity, for which I stand before you today ready to take accountability. Jody Hildebrand was never my business partner, nor was I ever employed by her. I have never received wages from her or connections. Jody was employed as my son's counselor in 2019, and in 2020 I paid her to be my mentor.
Which, by the way, is a dual relationship, and that's unethical. So yes, Hildebrand, has violated a lot of not HIPAA, what am I saying? DORA violations. So she is going to have not only a criminal case, but also she's going to go against the Department of Regulatory Agencies in Utah, also with her licensing board, because some of the things that she did, again, went against her legal and ethical responsibility as a therapist, by the way. Now, sadly, Ruby did not see those signs either, because all of those, as I was mentioning earlier, are gigantic red flags from the therapist's perspective.
To demonstrate my remorse and regret without blame, I take full accountability for my choices, and it is my preference that I serve a prison sentence. Thank you to
Okay. Do I believe her on this? I'm not sure. What do you guys think? Because maybe serving time in jail did help her see the reality. This is massive contrast, right? From her going downhill, getting reinforced from all these behaviors, and then all of a sudden being put into jail. I do think those moments wake people up, but I'd love to hear from you. Drop it below.
officers in Santa Clara and the Ivan City Police, Nick Hammond, Brian Polifo, Cy Pickett, Mike Pandolio in Tober, John Ward, D. Lewis, and Chief Flowers. You were the angels who came and saved my children. I especially want to thank Detective J. Bate. She popped me out of a situation I didn't know how to get out of. And the moment she handcuffed me was the moment I gained my freedom.
All right. She goes on to, she continues to thank pretty much everybody, family, friends, attorneys, husband, ex-husband, all of their families. I mean, she goes on to thank everybody, the DHS, the medical staff, and everyone who was involved in bringing this down. I do believe, I wouldn't be in this business if I didn't believe that people can change, that awakenings happen. And so I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear from you on your thoughts around this. Do you think this is genuine? I don't know about anyone else, but I think if I were serving some time in jail, it gives me a lot of time to think, process, explore, reevaluate. And I do think that this is genuine. I do think that, you know, she, in a lot of ways, after I started listening to this, when I first started listening to the first video, I was like, no, you know what, she doesn't. But I do think that she has had some time to reflect on her responsibility and her actions in this. And now she's taking that responsibility. And so I'd love to hear from you and what you think about this case. But again, as business owners, I think it's so critical that we have a strong, supportive team, not just one person, but a team of people. You know, my current team made up of actually three mentors. I have 2 business coaches. I have an incredible community of women in multiple facets. And so I'm constantly in connection and collaboration and communication with folks. There are people, there's tons of eyes on my social media right now. There's tons of eyes on my YouTube. There's tons of eyes keeping me in check. And if just in case, you know, someone just the other day called me and said, oh my gosh, I just saw this video. How cool was that? I know that people are watching and seeing what we're doing. And just like every other business, it's really important that we take 100% responsibility. And I'm really grateful that she is now seemingly taking that responsibility and taking the prison sentence. Now, I don't know if this is strategy, and I don't know if this is, you know, an element of it, but I don't believe that, according to her attorneys, I don't believe that she's contesting the hearing, and I don't think she's contesting the jail time, because oftentimes people will, you know, their attorneys will come back and say, no, that wasn't right, da 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 da. So, in my opinion, there is something to that, and there seems to be a genuine element of her holding herself accountable for the actions that she's taking and the damage and the trauma that she's caused, not only to her children that face the trauma, but that has a ripple impact. And people that were innocent were called into question. Their relationship to her, their family members, all of them were called into question because of her actions. And now I think truly she's had, one of those moments of a real reality check in the nth degree to say, you know what, no, it's time for me to take action, or for me to take accountability. And that, my friends, is a powerful place to be in, and to own up to what you've done and taken action to that. And even because all of us, every single one of us, whether we are a business owner or not, are going to make mistakes. And sometimes we don't even recognize it's a mistake until afterwards. We're like, oh, I didn't really have the forefront that that was going to happen, or that was going to play out that way. And so I think it's a really powerful place that when you make a mistake, you own it, you acknowledge it, and you take, accountability for it and do the right thing. And as always, folks, make sure that you like, subscribe, and if this was resonating with you, let's connect further. As always, be bold, be brave, be fearless, be the magic of you. Massive love, and I'll see you on the next Spilling the Tea.